friends, Marion with Into Mobile. We're at South by Southwest 2011 in beautiful Austin, Texas. We're with Jeff from RIM looking at the BlackBerry Playbook. We've seen it before, but we haven't seen this before. We're going to look at the music store, we're going to look at portrait orientation, so take it away.
Alright, so we're here with the Playbook. Just a quick recap of some of the hardware features. It's a 7-inch tablet. We've got dual cameras, 3 megapixel on the front, 5 megapixel on the back. But what's beautiful about both those cameras is that they both support full 1080p HD video. So you got true HD on this thing. On the bottom, you've got some great connectors. So there's a high-speed charging unit here on the right. You've got micro USB and also micro HDMI. So direct out of the device, you got HDMI, so you can plug it in and see all this great content on the large screen.
So Jeff, we know this is going to be a good device for messaging. It's BlackBerry, but what about music? What about multimedia? What can we expect?
Well, that's what we're here to show at South by Southwest this week. Made some great announcements this week in the area of multimedia on Playbook. The first is our music store. So we've got a music store powered by 7 Digital on the Playbook right out of the box. So right away, users can start discovering new content right when they take this thing out of the box on day one. You see here you've got featured content along the top. You can also browse by new releases, best sellers, and genres as well. So we were just chatting before we went on here. We were looking at a band called the Mountain Goats. So if I type them in here and search, I'm able to see a bunch of their content categorized by either album or song or artist. Now, if I drill a little bit deeper into a particular disc, for instance, I can see all the tracks on the disc, and if I touch on a particular tune, it's going to give me a preview. And the beauty thing about previews in the music store by 7 Digital is that we support up to 60-second previews, so you can make sure you really like that song before you spend the money on it. So the preview is going to load here.
Right, we're on a 3G connection, so it's a little bit dodgy right here. But
yeah, we're connected over Wi-Fi with a hotspot. But what you'd see here is that you'd get a preview right here in the app, and then for songs that I've actually already got on my device. So let's pretend we downloaded that song here. I'm just going to go into to another disc here that I've already got, like this Black Eyed Peas album, for instance. And if I play the song, it actually opens up our native media player. Mm-hmm. So that song's going to play right here in the player, and you see you got great sound quality. The music in the 7 Digital music store is up to 320 kilobytes per second, so you got really high bit rates, great quality music.
Is there a DRM on that?
The music's DRM free, so with this thing called the Digital Music Locker, or My Purchases, I'm able to download this content here on the Playbook and then access it through multiple devices. So I've got My Purchases here. You can log into the 7 Digital account and access that music on a number of different devices as well.
Great, and you also have a podcast integration, right?
Yeah, so the other thing we announced this week was the podcast application. So access to tons of audio, video, and HD video content. You can get it right here on the device. Anytime there's new content available and the application's open, it's going to automatically download to your Playbook. And actually, all this content gets played back right in the player here too. So if I'm downloading HD video content, I can port that out through the HDMI, view it on the large screen. So just lots of ways to discover new content on the Playbook. The other thing too, just one last thing. I mean, that's all great if you want to discover new content. But maybe this is what you're going to ask about. How do I get my existing content, my existing library of videos, pictures, music onto the device? And for that, you use BlackBerry desktop software. So with the USB connection, just a couple of quick clicks, you can bring all that music onto the Playbook.
Great. And for our viewers who don't know, can you just go over the gestures again and how they auto-rotate when you go into portrait mode?
Okay, I thought that's where you're going with it, but you see here that that the software we got here at South by Southwest supports both portrait and landscape, which is something that we haven't been showing up until this point. But you've got still full gesture support, so you can flick an application to throw it off the screen. But when it comes to navigating the Playbook, there are no buttons on the face of the device. So if you want to go back to your home screen, you start a gesture from the bottom frame and you swipe up. If you want to move between applications, you can start a gesture from either the left or the right, and just quickly multitask between applications like that. Another cool gesture is the ability to swipe down from the top frame, and that's kind of like your context menu, your contextual menu. So in a music application, for instance, if I swipe down, it gives me, my different categories of music, whether it's songs or artists or albums. If I'm in different applications, it'll give me different options here too. So I've subscribed to the Ask a Ninja podcast, so it's going to bring me to my subscriptions and also my options and stuff like that. So those are kind of the key gestures that you need to learn to be able to navigate Playbook.
And all these gestures orient when you flip it to portrait.
Exactly,
right?
That's a great point. So once I've flipped it into portrait mode, still swipe from the bottom takes me back to the home screen. Swiping from the sides allows me to multitask between applications. And if I'm here, I can swipe down and get my menus.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. BlackBerry Playbook, it's coming out soon, I swear. And thank you, South by Southwest 2011.
Stay tuned.
Thank you.